I want you to imagine something. You park your truck, you lock the cab, you eat something, you set your alarm, and you fall asleep. Everything is normal, everything is fine. You wake up 8 hours later, you start the engine, you check your mirrors, you pull out. And somewhere around the 3rd kilometer, the fuel warning light comes on. You had 3/4 of a tank when you parked. You have almost nothing now. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't use it. You were asleep. It was taken from you, quietly, professionally, while you slept, by people who've been doing this for years and who will do it again tonight to someone else. This is fuel theft. It happens every single night across Europe, and most drivers only find out the way I did, moving, already on the road, already committed to a route they can no longer finish. Let me tell you exactly what happened and exactly how it works. It was early autumn. I was on a run through Romania, Bucharest to Budapest, loaded with automotive parts. I had done this route many times. I knew the stops, I knew the roads, I knew where to park. That night, I chose a free layby about 40 kilometers outside of Bucharest. Not my first choice. I prefer lit, commercial truck stops, but I was behind schedule, and my driving hours were running out. The layby was half full of other trucks. I told myself, safety in numbers. I parked at 11 p.m. I did my usual checks, doors locked, curtains drawn, belt through the handle. I ate a little, checked my phone, set my alarm for 6 a.m. I was asleep by midnight. At 6:15 a.m., I started the engine. Everything seemed normal. I pulled out of the layby onto the road and began the drive north. At kilometer 3, the low fuel warning activated. I had fueled the truck the previous afternoon, a full tank, 600 liters capacity. I had taken on approximately 480 liters, enough for a full day of driving, enough to reach Budapest with fuel to spare. Now I had perhaps 80 liters, maybe less. I pulled over. I got out and looked at the fuel tank, and there it was, something I wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't been looking for it. A small mark near the fuel cap, faint scratching on the metal around the drain plug on the underside of the tank. They'd been there. They had taken it, and I had slept through every second of it. Fuel theft from trucks is not opportunistic. It is organized, professional, and in certain regions of Europe, it operates almost like an industry. Let me explain the methods, because understanding them is the only real protection. Method 1, the drain plug. This is what happened to me. Every diesel truck has a drain plug at the bottom of the fuel tank. It exists for maintenance purposes. Experienced thieves can open it, drain fuel into portable containers below the truck, and reseal it in under 20 minutes. The driver hears nothing. The fuel disappears from below while he sleeps above. Method 2, the fuel cap. Less sophisticated, but faster. Thieves use a siphon pump inserted through the fuel cap. This works on older trucks where the cap lock is simple. Newer trucks have anti-siphon devices, but not all. And even with protection, a powerful pump can overcome it. Method 3, the fuel line cut. The most destructive method. The fuel line running from the tank is cut. Fuel drains freely onto the ground, which means it cannot be collected and sold. So this method is used either as sabotage or when thieves are interrupted before they can set up proper collection. You wake up with a fuel puddle under your truck and an empty tank. Method 4, distraction and diversion. Used when the driver is not sleeping but is away from the vehicle, at the toilet, at the service counter, inside the truck stop building. One person distracts the driver, asks for directions, pretends to have a problem with their vehicle, while a second accesses the tank. This can be done in under 5 minutes on a tank with a simple lock. Now, the numbers. According to data from the Transported Asset Protection Association, TAPA, fuel theft costs the European logistics industry hundreds of millions of euros annually. In Eastern and Central Europe, fuel theft from trucks accounts for a significant portion of all reported road crime. Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, and certain regions of Poland and the Czech Republic are consistently identified as higher-risk areas, though this crime occurs across the entire continent, including Western Europe. The black market for diesel is efficient. Stolen fuel is resold to small local businesses, individuals, or even fed back into service stations through corrupt supply chains. From theft to sale, the operation can be complete within hours. I called my dispatcher from the side of the road outside Bucharest at 6:30 a.m. His first question was not, "Are you okay?" His first question was, "How much fuel was taken?" I told him. His response, "We'll log it. Make a police report if you want, but it probably won't go anywhere." He was right. It didn't. The Romanian police were polite and bureaucratic. They took my details, they wrote a report number on a piece of paper. They told me this happened regularly on that road. They did not give me the impression that this report would lead to anything. The company's insurance covered part of the loss. Fuel theft is a recognized claim, but the process required documentation, a police report number, photographs of the tank, a written account of events, all of which I had to produce while still on a delivery schedule, in a foreign country, running behind because I now had to find a fuel station before I could go anywhere. I want to be direct about something. The system that is supposed to protect drivers from this is largely broken. Reports are filed, statistics are collected, warnings are issued, and the same layby, 40 kilometers outside of Bucharest, continues to be used by the same organized groups who've been operating there for years. The drivers know. We talk about it on the radio. We warn each other. We share the coordinates of dangerous laybys the way fishermen share information about bad weather, not because anyone official is listening, but because it is the only protection that actually works. After that night in Romania, I changed how I park. Completely. Here is what I do now, and what I tell every younger driver who asks me. Rule 1. Pay for parking. Free laybys are free for a reason. Paid, secured truck parks, Autohof in Germany, designated TIR parkings in Eastern Europe, motorway services with barriers and lighting, cost money. That money buys you cameras, fencing, and the basic principle that organized criminals prefer easier targets. The cost of a secured parking per night, 10 to 25 euros depending on the country. The cost of a fuel theft, 400 to 800 euros or more. The math is not complicated. Rule 2. Protect the drain plug. There are simple aftermarket drain plug locks available for most common truck tank models. They are inexpensive, they take minutes to install, and they make the drain method significantly more difficult and time-consuming. More time means more risk of detection. More risk means thieves move to an easier truck. Rule 3. Fuel cap locks. Replace standard fuel caps with anti-theft locking caps. Again, inexpensive, widely available, effective against the basic siphon method. Rule 4. Fuel level photograph. Before sleep, take a photo of your fuel gauge. Timestamp it. If you wake up with fuel missing, you now have documented evidence of the level before the theft occurred. This is critical for insurance claims. Rule 5. Park smart. If you must use a free layby, park where your fuel tank is not accessible from the outside without moving obstacles, other trucks, walls, barriers. Make access to your tank the hardest thing on the lot. Rule 6. Trust the radio. Channel 15. Ask other drivers which laybys are clean tonight and which are not. This information is real-time and reliable in a way that no official warning system currently matches. Fuel theft is annoying. It costs money, it causes delays, it creates paperwork. But what I remember most from that morning outside Bucharest is not the financial loss or the delay. It is the feeling of having been in my cab, asleep, believing I was safe, and learning that I was wrong. Someone was under my truck while I slept, moving quietly in the dark, doing something that would affect my day, my schedule, my pay, without ever having to look me in the eye. There is something particular about that violation. It is not violent, it is not confrontational, but it is a reminder that on the road, especially at night, especially alone,
The protections we assume are in place are often thinner than we think.
Every experienced driver develops a relationship with risk. We learn to read parking lots the way sailors read weather, not with certainty, but with pattern recognition built from years of attention. We notice which trucks have been there too long, which cars circle, which figures move without apparent purpose. We notice because we have to, because the systems that should notice for us, the police, the authorities, the companies, notice after the fact. Drivers notice in real time. That knowledge, shared across radios and rest stop conversations, is the closest thing we have to a safety net on the road at night. Use it, contribute to it, and park where someone is watching. If you've had fuel stolen, and if you've driven long haul in Europe, there's a good chance you have. Leave a comment. Tell me the country, the amount, the method if you know it. Not to complain, but because every story someone shares is information someone else might use to sleep safer tonight. That is how it works on the road. We look out for each other because no one else is going to do it for us. Stay safe, park smart, check your fuel before you sleep.